Hi, welcome to Module 9, which is the module on inductive logic. Now, for those of you who have were really tired of formal deduction and maybe you weren't enjoying some of the Venn diagramming and some of the truth tables and stuff, this is probably a point where you can kind of give a little bit of a sigh of relief because we're not going to be doing any of these sort of logic problems anymore. Now, there will be some technical stuff, there will be some terminology and how you apply it, but it definitely, I mean, to me, it's definitely not that same sort of logic games. Now, so sigh of relief. Okay. Now, as far as it goes, some of this material, this was originally intended to be a 1-week module. Now, I've decided to make it a 2-week module, but I also don't have time to completely eliminate that. I think maybe just a little more time than a week is necessary, and some of you will finish it within a week. And so the idea here is that I'm kind of overlapping modules 9 and 10. You have until May 12th to finish module 10, but it technically opens, or it always opens early. It's actually open already, but this module you will have until May 5th to finish. And so you will have until the 5th of May to finish this one instead of April 28th. So you get an extra week to work on it, but don't think, well, then I get 2 weeks to work on the next one. No, that they're kind of overlapping. So the idea would be is you can finish this module and start the next one. As far as this module goes, and part of the reason why I only gave it a week is I'm not going to require you to read anything from the textbook for this module. Part of the reason is I think that I'm using the lessons that were put together by the previous instructor, and he did a great job, and I think he has some great explanations, some very strong writing on it, some very strong examples, and so I think that we don't really, we don't need to use the textbook on this one, and so that should help. There are some quizzes and review questions throughout these lessons, and that should help you, and so I think that you can probably get a pretty good feel for what's going on in this just through that. Now, with that said, also the other thing is that some of this material is a little bit of review. We have touched on some of these topics, like the idea of sufficient and necessary conditionals and how that works, and some of it also relates back to different types of inductive arguments, such as arguments based on signs and things. And so some of that's basic, and then the rest of it is sort of talking about how do we know we have these things. Most of logic was deductive, and logicians love deductive logic for one very simple reason, that deductive logic gives us necessarily true or 100% true conclusions. But inductive logic, on the other hand, only gives us probable. And the goal is to get your arguments to be more true or more probabilistic than not. But the idea here is that your goal is to make them more probabilistic than not. But this is sort of saying, how do we assess that? And we use things like Mills method and just a bunch of different solutions. And some of this is very intuitive, and you would probably realize that one of part of Mills method is that if you've used up all your options, the only other option is the one that's left. And so there's several different theories, but some of it's very intuitive, and so I think that you should understand it, although it probably in some ways is made very technical for something that perhaps is very intuitive, and that would be the one negative of this. So I hope you enjoy the lessons, and good luck, and if you have any questions, please contact me.